Hello my friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to add some fresh perennials to the garden. We're going to put some in the landscape, we're going to put some in containers. It is going to be a glorious day. First thing in the morning here, mid-September, cool, crisp. This is my favorite kind of weather. We got a sweatshirt and shorts. We're going to be in the garden. It is going to be a fabulous morning. You may hear some construction noises going on in today's video. Stay tuned tomorrow because we're going to make massive updates here on the terrace garden. So that's going to be tomorrow's video. So if you hear some equipment, just know it is the fellas working. So what are we going to be adding to the garden today? Well, remember, I just got a gorgeous delivery of perennials from our friends at Proven Winners, Walter's Gardens, and 'tis the time to start adding them to the garden. I have here on the back of Johnny, I have got two eucharis. We have got prom dress. This is the dressed up series. This gorgeous, y'all, can we talk about how massive this thing is? Stunning. It has this beautiful obviously like a purple hue, dark burgundy, has a little bit of silver in it, nice big leaves to it. Actually has a couple little buds here on it. So we are going to be adding this one to the garden as well as the wild berry. So you'll notice that I've got two purples here. Wild berry though is a very different, has more like silver overlay to it. The back sides nice and purple on them, just gorgeous. I love these plants because we're going to be adding them in the bed right here off of the driveway. And as you can see, I have got a lot of green. So I want to add some purple in there. Now, we are going to be adding a lot of eucharis. In fact, we even have over here, we have got cherry truffles. Now, completely different color, right? Beautiful red euchera. And they're stunning. Like, this is one plant that is massive and huge. For me in the south, because remember I am North Carolina, a zone 8A, eucharis can be a little tricky sometimes. So if you've had troubles with adding eucharis to your landscape, especially if you're like me and have like really thick red clay soil, I want you to try putting them in containers. That is what we are going to do. I'm only going to be adding one directly to the landscape. The rest are going to be going into containers. Now they can stay in those containers literally for years and will do really, really well. They like to have that well-draining soil, so that is a great option for you if you have struggled with eucharis and they just don't last. Maybe they last 1 year, maybe 2, and you just need a little help. Put them in a container, and you can actually put the container directly in the landscape. I'm going to show you how we do that today. So try putting them in the container. Makes a huge difference. Now, here at the side of the garage, I have got these unique stone. I've got two of them, one on each side, urns on a pedestal. And I'm constantly switching these things out because honestly, while this urn looks nice and tall and deep, there's not a whole lot of room for the soil inside. I'll show you when I switch it out. So these containers have to be switched out every, multiple times throughout the year. Clearly the caladiums are done. They're done. So we're going to pull those out and look. So this is going to be for my winter planting here. Now, this is a eucharella. Eucharellas are a cross between a euchera and a tiarella. You get the beautiful color of the euchera, but you get the really fun like leaf shape and texture from the tiarella. When you have a eucharella, they tend to be more shade loving. That's why we're going to put this here. So this is from the Fun and Games series. This is I Spy. And I Spy is going to be about 8 to 10 inches tall, which is pretty, we're getting there. It's going to have a nice mounded habit, right? And they will do really sweet little pink flowers. It is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9. So me as a zone 8A, not a problem putting this in a container. If you are worried about putting some of your perennials in containers over the winter, look at your zone. Look at the zone that the plant is. This I Spy is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9. I'm a zone 8. It can survive in a zone 4 winter. You think my North Carolina zone 8 winter is hard for this plant? No. So it will be just fine. as long as you would have at least, I would say, 2 growing zones colder, then you can absolutely put it into a container. For today, out of 4 varieties that I have that are going to be going into the landscape, 3 of those varieties are going to go in containers. Only 1 is going to go into the landscape. I'll explain more. And then last but certainly not least, we are going to give some love to a new series of perennials from our friends at Proven Winners. This is the Mini Marvels, and this particular color is Twilight. Y'all, these are campanulas. Look how sweet these little guys are. They are nice short perennials. They're only going to be 6 to 8 inches tall. They come in 3 different colors. Twilight has that more kind of an ombre look, more of a violet purple on the outside, and then a creamy white on the inside. So I have got 5 of these sweet little babies that we are going to add directly to the landscape, to the front of the flower bed. I don't know if you can see Hummer. I've got Hummer on the feeder over there. They are loving life. There she goes. So hopefully we'll get to have some sightings of the Hummers today. So where am I going to put the Twilight? Twilight, and Brenna found a clod of soil. She was not outside very much yesterday because we just had a ton of things going on and errands, and so she is a little extra frisky this morning. She found a massive, that is not a rock, that is dirt, y'all. That is our red clay soil, and so if you see her, she's fine. She's just gonna have a mouthful of dirt. Okay, so I digress, sorry. The Twilights, I've got a lovely empty hole right here. We're gonna put those in there and enjoy that. It's gonna be so pretty. The reason that I went with a Twilight, because I believe the other darker color, blue, is Midnight. And so I always, y'all, we've talked about this before, I always put this Broalia, this is the Endless Illumination Broalia, in this flower bed just because I love it. I mean, hello, look at it. Here we are, middle of September. We've got that beautiful blue. We've got the Rocapulcos. So I didn't want to put the Midnight. I wanted to have a little bit of a color difference. That's why we're going to put Twilight right here. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is grab up all my materials. And I think what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and put the Twilights in the ground first, get those out of the way, and then we will work on the containers with all the fun euchres. I got the Twilight in the ground, super simple, y'all, right? Figure out where you want to plant them, get your biotone, get your power planter auger. The Jenny's Edition 5-inch makes it perfect for these quart-sized containers. And then you will see that I top dressed with some land and sea. I like to do that, add some great nutrition, plus it gets rid of that red clay soil that I have so much. But if you're not familiar with Campanula, because this is, like I said, a new species, plant, whatever you, cultivar, whatever, that Proven Winners is adding to their line. You might also know them as a Carpathian bellflower. There you go. So these are sweet little small plants, right? They're very, very petite, that are perfect for tucking in to those small spaces. They are rated for full sun to part sun and hardy in zones 3 to 8. Depending on where you are, if you're in a zone 3, 4, 5, you could probably put these in full all day sun and they would do great. With me being in a zone 8A, I need to give them a break in the afternoon, which will be perfect because I have them right here below my white by the gate camellia. Same thing, beautiful morning sun. This is early in the morning, so they're gonna get their full sun requirement, but they're gonna get a break in the afternoon. They love moist but well-drained soil. This is perfect because you can see, perhaps the camera will show that this is on a little bit of a raised area. So they will get water, especially here on the edge when we're running the irrigation for the grass. They will get sprinkled, but they will drain. You can tuck these into so many different little spots. Just a fun, sweet addition. The spread on them is going to be about 10 to 12 inches. So they could form a nice little carpet right there. So we have got twilight in the ground. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add that euchera to the ground. I've got the prom dress. Prom dress is gonna come right here, kind of where the mushrooms are. Have my cute little pottery mushrooms, little yard art, right beside the brunnera, underneath the ever sad looking Aurelia Sun King. It is September in North Carolina, and this baby is looking tired. So tucking it in right here, like I said, I'm gonna move the mushrooms and I'm gonna tuck it in right here. Give me, again, a nice color contrast. When the Sun King is happy, you know, in the most of the season, right? It's just getting tired. She's done. She's a beautiful chartreuse color. So you've got the chartreuse, then you'll have this lovely gray, silver with obviously prominently purple, which will pair beautifully with my Jack of Diamonds right there. And then of course there's hostas and everything right there. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same method. We are going to move the mushrooms. I am gonna still use my 5-inch auger. I'm not gonna switch it out. Just do multiple holes, make a hole nice and big for this premium 1 gallon. Biotone, plop her in, there you go. Then we can get the containers done. My friends, we've got prom dress. She is in the ground. I'll show it to you in a little bit. What we're going to do is we are going to, I tell you, this dog, she knows as soon as I turn the camera on, she likes to come inspect the pot and the plants and get her a couple of minutes of fame. I tell you, there you go. Good girl. Down. Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do is we have the Dolce Wildberry. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous euchera. It's gonna go in this nice blue pot. This pot is going to go right back here. So imagine it popping right here underneath the zebra hydrangea and next to the hostas. I do have a fern in front, but this is a perfect way to add eucheras to your garden if you don't feel comfortable putting them directly into the landscape. This is a nice, healthy, beautiful plant, and this is a wide, more shallow container. So what I'm going to do is my little trick of when I don't want to mess up the plants, but I need to put it in that container. So what you're going to do is you're going to carefully take the plant out of the pot, right? We're just going to lay that off to the side ever so gently. Brenna will leave it alone. So we have the empty pot. Now she may not leave the empty pot alone, but we're going to try. Nope. See, she thinks. Down. Good girl. Basically what we're going to do is we're putting the pot into the container. We're going to put a little bit of soil in here and then pack the soil around it. Now you know every time that I do containers, I will put some compost in the bottom and then do my soil. Because these are eucheras and they like to be really well draining because my winters can be so wet with all the rain we get, I'm actually only going to use the Proven Winners potting soil. It's the only potting soil that I use because it does really well. That beautiful combination of holds moisture but also is well draining. So I'm only going to use the potting soil in there, and at the end we will top dress. So if you've never done this before, it's really, really easy. I'm going to put just a little bit of soil in the bottom. And the only reason I'm putting a little bit in here is just because this is a shallow container. And then we're going to put our pot in, zhuzh it down, and then you're leaving your pot in, and we're going to pack the soil all around the Proven Winner pot. That way, once we pack it down in there really, really tight, I'll go ahead and add top dress with my Land and Sea. I will take out my container, I will wiggle it and zhuzh it just a little bit, pull it carefully out. I will have the perfect form where I can pick up my wild berry and drop her in, easy peasy. See how easy it was to put that nice, big, beautiful wild berry, almost a full-size perennial, into another pot, right? So using that little trick works great just about at any time you want to do a container. So that is a fun little trick. She looks so sweet, just kind of tucked in there, right? So we're adding those layers, adding those colors, adding that different kind of texture in here. Your eucharis are pretty much going to be an evergreen, semi-evergreen. Now in the wintertime, she's not going to be this full and lush, but you will still have lots of foliage. So I will have that blue pot because everything else is going to be go ahead and die back, and then my zebra hydrangea will just be lovely sticks for the winter. So wild berry here in the container, looking lovely, just tucked right in there. Great thing too about being a pot. Next spring, next summer, if she starts to get hidden by everybody else, guess what? Super easy to move her. Just pick the pot up and move it. Easy peasy. That's one reason why I love using containers directly into your landscape, because it just makes it, fills it in instantly, and then the versatility of moving it. And then of course we have prom dress down here, nice and big in the ground. Everybody got some land and sea around them. Now what we're going to do is just really quickly, I am going to get the I Spies into both of these unique stone urns, pull the caladiums out. I'm going to start fresh with everybody's soil. That's one thing that I always do when I'm doing my containers. I start fresh, especially when the soil has tons of roots in it. So we want to get that out, get the fresh soil in, so that the new plant has as much room to spread her roots as she wants to. And then the cherry truffles right here that I have is going to go by the front porch. So I'm going to get those containers planted, and then I'll show you how they look here in just a minute. My friends, all of my plants that I had on the list for today have gotten planted. Could not be happier with how everything has turned out. Let's just do a quick little recap and show you where everything is in their new home. Of course, everything we planted today are perennials. Perennials, by definition, are plants that will last for 2 or more years. So here we have the cherry truffles, just lovely. I mean, absolutely completely filled up the square planter here. I don't know, did you see when I was pulling out the begonias how it was the perfect square? Like, it filled up every little ounce of soil that was in these containers. So this, my friends, is why I tell you to put fresh soil every time you do a container, because you want as much soil available for those roots to grow. Now, you may be sitting here going, Jenny, you're in the shade. These plants are in the shade. You just said that the cherry truffles can do more sun. The eucharillas need to have more shade. What's the deal with that? So the I Spy, yes, is that eucharilla. It is part shade to shade. Remember, part shade is going to be like 5 hours or less of sun. Full sun is 6 hours or more. Where we are right now on the front porch, the cherry truffles gets the hot, intense afternoon sun. The driveway and the garage gets morning sun and is in the complete shade by lunchtime on. So in fact, you can see right now, Brenna is sitting in the shade. That sun is going to be making its way to the porch, and then the cherry truffles will get that full sun. So there we go. We got cherry truffles in. They're gonna stay all winter long. As you can see, I got it all watered, so they are nice and well watered, and literally I just leave them alone. Got everything kind of blowed. You know, it is so dry, it is so dusty. So everything has a lovely shade of a layer of dust on it. And then coming on down here, we have got the twilights. I got my little mushrooms back in the ground. So there's the little twilights, they are there. And then of course, prom dress, nice and well watered. She looks a little bedraggled because the hose got her. So she's got some water. The wild berry, nice and tucked in. And then last but not least, the I Spy. So loving how they look, nice, pretty mounded habit on those. And you can see, right, already part of the plant is in the shade. That shade's gonna come around and then they will get a break later on. And so they're not gonna get that hot, intense afternoon sun. Now, as you can probably see and hear, it is a hustle and bustle of activity here at the terrace garden. And so I'm gonna stop this video, start a new one up there with all the updates. Check that out tomorrow. We're gonna have some really fun, exciting developments. Can't wait to share that with you. But as always, we hope you found this fun, informative, inspirational. If you have a chance to grab some gorgeous perennials this fall, do it, add it to your garden, especially euthras. They make great container plants here in the South. They'll be stunning for you. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.